wife Annette couldn't be with me today. My father's quite ill, so she's back home being on call for him. But today just happens to be our 36th wedding anniversary. So my wife plays such an important role in my life. The people who know me know that I'm very much married. In fact, I remember one business briefing that I went to in Colorado. I sort of sit in the back in many cases until I'm invited up, and by the time I was invited up, I guess real nice-looking young ladies, prospects, were sitting in the back, and I think that was a few years ago when I looked pretty good, and I guess one of the young ladies must have turned to the other young lady and said, "Ooh," and the other young lady said, "Honey, don't even go there." She said, "He's so married, it make you throw up." So that's who I am. And my wife plays a very, very important part and role in why I became Platinum Executive Director. But even more importantly, our entire team, and not only our entire team, but all the prepaid legal services played a role. So I'm just going to take you through some of the things. You've already heard many, but I'm just going to take you through some of the basic things that I do and that I teach in my organizations, how we go about doing that. First of all, P.B.R., 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 and don't get it mixed up. So, my very first opportunity in this industry was when a young lady came to me a few years ago. In fact, my wife and I, we own a cosmetics company, have owned it for about 30 years now. When you saw the TV series Dallas and you saw J.R. Ewing in J.R.'s office, that really wasn't J.R.'s office. That was Bill and Annette Hamilton's office that Hollywood leased from us in Dallas. And to put J.R. in, Bobby Ewing was in the office next door. That was our conference room. And the three secretaries that sat outside of J.R.'s office, that's where our one secretary sat. So that entire office suite was leased from us. And back in those days, again, cosmetics company, we wanted a national speaker. So we chose a lady by the name of Gladys Knight. Chose Gladys Knight to be our national representative. And Gladys came to Dallas. We lived in Dallas. Gladys came to Dallas. And at that time, it was a Jeff Olson company by the name of TPN. Some of us know TPN. And she was involved with that company. Make a long story short, after we made our presentation to Dallas, and Gladys said, "I like what you have. I like what I see." She said, but you know, there's something that I'm involved in that I'd like to present to you. And we said, "Fine, absolutely." And so she presented that Jeff Olson company, TPN, to us, and we liked what we saw, and we said, "Wow, incredible. Yes, we're going to sign up." So we signed up right then and there. And then Gladys Knight said something that has changed the way I have done business from that point in time. Gladys Knight said these words. She said, "Bill and Annette Hamilton, I am supposed to leave Dallas tonight, but if you can get some people together in your living room, I will stay over an extra day, and I will come to your living room tomorrow night and give a presentation on your behalf." So think about it in your mind. So we went home. We said, "Oh, this is out of sight." So we ran home, got on the phone, start calling everybody we know, come to our house tomorrow night because Gladys Knight is going to be at our house. Oh, man, this is a killer. At that point in time, there was an African-American mayor in Dallas, Texas, and we called him. He was a church member of ours, and we called his office, and we said to him, we said to his secretary, said, "This is Bill and Annette Hamilton, and we're calling to let the mayor know that he's being invited to our home tomorrow night because we've got Gladys Knight and we were going to say Les Brown. That's when she and Les Brown were married. We said, we have Gladys Knight in, and the secretary said, "The Pips!" And we said, no. Make a long story short, Gladys Knight, half the people came because they thought we were lying. They figured, ain't no way Gladys Knight's going to be there. We had people all out in the driveway. Make a long story short, Gladys was there. She made the presentation, and we signed up a bunch of people that night. Ladies and gentlemen, that was another company that Prepaid Legal acquired, as I mentioned. But since that day, this is my philosophy, this is what I teach, and this is what I do. When we sign up a new associate, my question to that new associate is, when in the next 24, 48 hours or 72 at the most, can I be in your living room or my living room or wherever you want me to go in front of a prospect to help you get your money back? Ladies and gentlemen, here's the way we do it, okay? It is my philosophy that you as the recruiter, it is your responsibility to help that new recruit get paid. That new recruit doesn't know anything, okay? It's your responsibility to help that new recruit get paid. And this is what I say. This is one of the things that I say to a brand new recruit. Oh, by the way, I'm going to show you how we're going to make you your first $1,000 and you're going to do no work. And I say to the new recruit, are you interested in that? Oh, by the way, have you ever had another opportunity where they told you that you could make $1,000 to begin with and do no work? Their response is, no, I never heard of that before. I said, well, you're getting ready to do it right now, okay? And here's all I want you to do. All I want you to do is put me in front of somebody, all right? And we're going to make this presentation. Oh, by the way, when I'm doing this, you're going to be sitting in the corner taking notes. Because you will learn, this is called OJT, on-the-job training. You are learning how we do this, all right? So, ladies and gentlemen, that's how we started doing it since day one, and that's how I still do it today. Give you an example. I am a servant leader. I'm not platinum. We get all hung up about platinum. Platinum. And when people say it, it just rings. We are nothing but servant leaders. And here's what I mean. So I'm going to be very specific with you on how I grew organizations. Okay? First of all, there's not one leader in my organization, in any of my legs, not one of my key leaders that's frontline to me. Everybody in the organization, I recruited somebody who recruited somebody else, who recruited somebody else, who recruited somebody else, who recruited somebody else. All those people fell out, and now down 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, sometimes 16 levels deep is my superstar. So here's what I do. They say, Bill Hamilton, how do you identify who's going to be your superstar? Well, you see, I don't identify them. I never identify a superstar. And I suggest you don't either. That's not how we do it. Superstars identify themselves. So, don't have much time, just want to give you an example. So, people going to weekly business briefings, superstars, Super Saturday superstars. Your superstars are here. See, some of you think you have great leaders that are at home. You don't have a great leader at home. All your great leaders are here. If they're at home, they ain't your great leader. Okay? I know that might be a shock, but I got to quickly move on. So, give you an example. Here's the way we do it. So, recruited somebody who recruited somebody who, all these people fell out, all of them became lukewarm or what have you. And then way down here, somebody by the name of Teresa Wright Johnson calls and said, I'm excited. She said, I'm ready to rock and roll, baby. I said, you ready to rock and roll? You ready to run? She said, I'm ready to run. I said, now don't mess with me. If you're ready to run, we're getting ready to run. She said, I'm ready to run. Okay? So I went to Northern Virginia, and I moved into Teresa and her husband's Al's house. Oh, I moved in. They said, here's your bedroom. Am I right about it, Teresa? They said, here's your bedroom, baby, and this is the way we do it. I said, for the next 2 weeks, I'll go anywhere you want me to go, talk to anybody you want me to talk to. We're going to present all day and all night. Don't waste my time, baby, because when I come to town, I come to work. And while I'm working, I want you in the corner taking notes, okay? That's the way we do it. So we went all over Northern Virginia, all over Maryland, doing nothing but PBRs. Let me give you a quick one. So we roll up into Newport News, Virginia. Okay, Teresa Wright Johnson said here in Newport News, Virginia, they said, Bill Hamilton, she said, I'm from Newport News. She said, they told me not to come here with that mess. It's a military town. They heard this mess over and over again, and we can't even come up in there with that mess. Teresa, don't bring that mess up in here. So Teresa said, but Mr. Hamilton, she said, you know, my mother's passed on, but I talked to my mother's best friend. And my mother's best friend, before she passed on, said that she'd give me a PBR. And I know the only reason she's doing it, Bill Hamilton, is because she's my mother's best friend. And so we rolled up in there. And she said, oh, by the way, Bill Hamilton, let me tell you, she's ailing and she's in the bed. I said, honey, that don't mean. She said, so we're going to have to give this PBR in the bedroom. I said, honey, don't worry about it. So I said, you just show it to me, honey. You just show it to me. You just show it to me, baby. You just show it to me, okay? Am I right about it, Teresa? So we rolled up in there, baby. We rolled up in there, opened the door to the bedroom. I said, where is she? She said, there she lay right there. I say, okay, baby, okay? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I say, are you listening? She said, I'm listening. So, hang, we roll up into the PBR, baby. I start presenting this bad boy. About 15 minutes later, she sits up in the bed. She said, oh, this looks good to me. She said, am I exaggerating? I ain't exaggerating, baby. And she said, but I'm just here by myself. She said, can you come back tomorrow? I'll have my 3 kids and we can do it in the living room. I said, fantastic. So we rolled back up in there the next day. She had her 3 kids. We did the bad boy in the living room. All 3 kids signed up. From that, we had a small weekly briefing in Newport News, Virginia. The room was about as big as one of these pillars. I said, Teresa, honey, can't you find anything any bigger than this? She said, Mr. Hamilton, that's the best I could find and the best I could afford. I put my hands out. I touched both walls. I said, but that's all right, baby. I said, that's all right. We're getting ready to do this. A couple by the name of Mark and Renee West rolled up in there, okay? Mark West acted like, I ain't supposed to be here. I ain't want to be here. I ain't going for none of this stuff. He was the most negative person throughout the entire presentation. By the time we got through, his wife was on fire. She went home and signed up behind his back. The name of that couple is Mark and Renee West. They've been in Players Club every month since there was a Players Club 10, 98 months. They've been executive director, bronze or silver, for the last 9 years. Teresa Wright Johnson, been executive director, bronze, silver, or gold for the past 10 years, has not missed a lick. Ladies and gentlemen, that one organization has put at least $600,000 in my bank account. So, ladies and gentlemen, every story that I have is the same way. My time is up now. My time is up. But I went to a place called Colorado. Did the very same thing. Moved to Colorado. My wife and I got a house in Colorado. Met a guy by the name of Sidney Adams. Lived in his basement. Did the very same thing. But Sidney Adams introduced me to a guy by the name of Russell Jordan. Russell Jordan lived in the Broadmoor area of Colorado Springs. Did 100 PBRs in his basement in 1 month. He called me back one night. I don't have much time, so just listen to me. That's when we started doing rolling PBRs. Rolling PBRs, we rolled up in there. We said, we're going to do rolling PBRs, baby. We're going to do a PBR at 12, at 2, at 4, and at 6. So you bring somebody at 12, and by 6 o'clock, baby, you can be a director up in here. Oh, yes, you can. So, ladies and gentlemen, now Russell Jordan has moved to Shreveport, Louisiana. He's doing the very same thing in Shreveport, Louisiana. Teresa Wright Johnson does the very same thing in Northern Virginia. Mark and Renee West are doing the very same thing. There's a guy by the name of Darren Jameson doing the very same thing in New York City. Ladies and gentlemen, every organization that I built it by going to them, saying, you stand in the corner, baby, and watch me work. When I start sweating, when I sweat up this towel, you can come and rescue me, baby. But that's how we're going to show you how to do. So I'm a servant leader. I teach you by coming to do it. That's how I build my organization. That's why it is now ironclad. I hope that helped you. I hope that helped you. I hope that helped you. I'm just going to end with a little story. There was a little black girl born in a place called Clarksville, Tennessee. She was born in around 1941. Didn't have hospitals in Clarksville, Tennessee, so when anybody would get sick, segregation was the rule of the land back then. They'd have to bring them all the way to Nashville, Tennessee. The little black girl was born underweight, very feeble, very underweight, and she got the diphtheria. Got the diphtheria. By the time they got her to Nashville, Tennessee, to Meharry Hospital, the diphtheria had precipitated into polio. So the little girl had polio, and she'd walk around dragging a leg. In fact, it was the left leg. Walk around dragging the left leg all the time, dragging the left leg all the time. And doctor says, ma'am, she's never going to get any better. She's never going to get any better. She's always going to be that way. But her mama said, I ain't having it, I ain't having it, I ain't having it. Mama said, I'm rubbing this leg down every night. I'm rubbing this leg down every night. Mama said, get up here in my lap, and I'm rubbing this leg down every night. I got some herbs and some salve I'm going to put on this leg, and I'm going to rub it down every night. Every night I'm going to rub it down. But it was so painful that the little girl would just cry and scream, Mama, 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 it just hurts so bad. Mama, please, please don't. Let's don't do it tonight, Mama, please. Get in my lap. Get in my lap. We're going to do this. Oh, Mama, 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 but I can't walk, Mama. I can't hardly walk, Mama. Mama said, honey, you're going to walk. You're going to run. In fact, I want you to run. We're going to run. I want you to run. But Mama, you keep talking about, I can't even walk, Mama. Mama kept rubbing down the leg, kept rubbing down the leg, kept rubbing down the leg. Every night, rubbing down the leg. And look, by little girl could pull the leg. She could just be a little bit better off, So her brothers played basketball, so she went out, played basketball, so she would lean up against a tree. She'd lean up against a tree, and she'd shoot the basketball. Well, week after week, after month, after month, after month, she got pretty good. So her brother said, oh, wait a minute, she's getting pretty good. So one day, when they decided to choose up teams, her brothers, they selected her. They chose her. They said, come on up here. So she felt so good. So they drive to the hole. And they turn around and they throw the ball back out to her. And she just leaned up against that tree. Oh, this is good stuff. So a period of time lapsed, and she got to be very, very good in basketball. And by the way, that leg started getting a little bit better, but she was still dragging it. So she went on to Clarksville High. To make a long story short, the leg got to, she was a little bit more mobile, but her mama was still on that leg. She was rubbing it down every night. And there was a coach that came from Tennessee State University. And he saw it in the state championship. And the girl from the corner was going, to-twish. The coach said, this girl is bad. I'm going to give her a scholarship. So the coach gave her a scholarship. So the coach said, come on to Tennessee State. I want you to run. Come on. I want you to run some track. But the girl said, but you see, I got this polio leg. And I can't do anything. And he said, no, I want you to run. I want you to try it. So the state meet came up. The girl got down for the 100-yard dash. They fired the gun, and she went to the finish line. And she came in dead last. The little girl went back home. Mom, I told you, I can't do this. Mom, I told you I can't do this. Mama said, get up in my lap. But Mom, I'm too old for this. Get up in my lap. Give me that leg. Mama rubbed that leg down. Mama said, it's the last time I ever want you to come back in here. Don't you ever come back in here again and tell me you can't do something. I want you to run, Wilma, run. I want you to run, Wilma, run. Mama said, but Mama, you keep talking about, but Mama, what did I tell you, girl? What did I tell you? Long story short, she went back to Tennessee State University. Practiced. Fast forward to the Rome Olympic Games. Not the state championship of Tennessee anymore, but the Rome Olympic Games. The little girl got in the blocks, got down, and they said, get to your mark, get set. Number one in the world in the 100-yard dash. Rome Olympic Games. But the next day, the little girl came back, or she came back and she run the 220 for the curve. The little girl got down in the blocks, take to your mark, get set, bam. She leaned the curve, came up for the straightaway, and number one in the world, the 200-yard dash. Oh, Lord have mercy. This girl just won 2 gold medals in the Olympic Games. She came back 2 days later. The announcer said, ladies and gentlemen, never before in the history of the Olympics has a female ever won 3 gold medals in one Olympic Games. But this girl today, her name is Wilma Rudolph. She's going to give it a try. So she was in the 4x100-yard relay. The 4x100-yard relay, there was a Russian who had come in second in the 100 meters. And Wilma knew that please, she told her teammates, please just get me the baton. Please get me the baton, even at least with the Russian. Don't let me get behind her, because this girl is tall, big, tall, blonde, and lanky. And I don't think I can catch her. Just give me even Steven. That's all I'm asking for, even Steven. So the gun went off. The first baton carrier brought the baton around. They were leading. Wilma said, this is looking good. The second baton carrier picked it up, came to the third. It's still looking good. But there was a little mix-up in the handoff. So by the time the third person got to Wilma, they still had about a 1-step lead on the Russian. Wilma said, it's looking good. She put back her hand to receive the baton. At this moment, they had a bad handoff, and she almost dropped the baton just before it hit the ground. She re-grasped it, and she looked up, and the German was gone. The Russian was gone. Everybody was gone. She was looking at Cleat City. She said, oh no, I'm behind. But the girl, about that time, her knee went up, the right knee hit the chest. That left polio leg went up, bam, hit the chest. The girl leaned the corner, came up for the straightaway. And about this time, the announcer said, oh, look at this. This girl is not running. This girl is flying low. Wilma Rudolph passed the Russian, passed the German, hit the tape. 100-meter gold medalist, 200-meter gold medalist, and the 4x100-meter gold medalist. The first time in history that a female has ever won 3 gold medals in the Olympic Games. But my time is up. Stay with me. So the announcer came running to her. The announcer said, Wilma, Wilma, how did you do it, Wilma? How did you do it? Just like Mr. Stone Cipher said, Platinum, how did you do it? Wilma Rudolph, the announcer said, Wilma, it must have been the crowd. Did you hear the crowd calling your name, Wilma? Did you hear the crowd? Wilma said, no, Mr. Announcer, I didn't hear the crowd. You must have heard the crowd, Wilma. That's the only thing that could have pulled you through. Wilma said, no, I didn't hear the crowd. All I could hear was my mama.